Flip Drummond.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. Thank you for that. There's no doubt that the lockdown has had a major impact on children's well-being, but also an appreciation of the amazing work that teachers do. So once again, I want to pay tribute to every head teacher, and support staff in Meon Valley. I've been really impressed by the way they've coped in very difficult times. And I'm also very grateful to my honourable friend, the Chair of the Education Select Committee, for the debate as it brings forward many thoughts about how we can best help our children and young people in schools and colleges. The pandemic has been hugely disruptive to education, and there's no doubt that pupils' mental health issues have increased, especially in secondary schools. But I would suggest that it was even before the pandemic, mental health and children's happiness was already becoming an issue. The Good Childhood report in August 2020 from the Children's Society, which looks at the happiness and mental health of 15-year-olds, had seen a notable increase in the proportion of children with low well-being. 18% had low well-being compared with 11 to 13% in previous years. And England ranks 36 out of 45 countries in Europe and North America in terms of young people's life satisfaction. We had the largest reduction in life satisfaction between 2015 and 2018 out of all participating countries. This is really not acceptable. The State of the Nation 2020, Children and Young Beings' Wellbeing, points out that children's well-being and their mental health can have a real impact on the development into their full potential, both now and as a tool in their futures. The report shows a sustained dip in happiness with school, and there's a strong evidence that fear of failure in 15-year-olds is intrinsically linked to education. Now, I reported about this in my One Nation paper on education as there was evidence that our education assessment system are no longer fit for purpose, and it's not preparing our young people adequately for a life of work. We've now heard from the Times Commission and the independent assessment report from the NEU, which provides more insight into what we can do to improve our curriculum, which I think will help young people's views on school and their mental health, and I'll come back to this in a minute. Hampshire Local Authority have created mental health support teams, which my local schools are finding very useful, and should be a model which the government should look into, continue to invest in, if not put further investment in, as CAMS is overwhelmed.
Would my right honourable friend give way?
Of course, yes.
Thank you. I thank my friend, honourable friend for giving way, and also echo her thanks for teachers. Would she agree that having mental health first aid training across the community, as I'm doing in Watford, where we were training 1,000 people in mental health first aid awareness, would help with this as well and support teachers, parents and organisations as they move forward, and especially students?
Yeah, I totally agree with you, and I know that the government's got plans to make sure that teachers are also trained in mental health provision too. In fact, one of my schools has employed their own psychologist as well as a mental health coordinator, and the number of students in this school receiving external mental health support has doubled in a year. Any further provision within the school would be filled immediately, so the need is increasing. But on a more positive note, the big ask launched by the Children's Commissioner reached 500,000 children, and young people now showing remarkable resilience and are determined to work hard and do well. The Big Ask report also states that the focus should be on helping every child to reach their goals, but that needs careful curriculum design, early intervention and responsive teaching. Mental health is improved by providing subjects that young people are interested in, which is why I'm so vocal about a 14 to 18 curriculum. Yesterday, I attended the launch of the NEU's Commission on Assessment, A New Era, and listened to young people talk about their views. It is clear that they're disappointed that the curriculum is limited as is choice. They were concerned that many of them will fail. In fact, 1/3 do because of the nature of the way exams are calculated. And they did not feel that the curriculum prepared them for life. Interestingly, this is a theme from both of the commissions that have published so far, and another 3 will be publishing shortly. There's an overall feeling that young people have become so stressed to the extent of what is the point of exams, they're being taught to the test on how to pass them, not educate them. We need a curriculum that makes sense to young people who can see a reason behind studying, and I include vocational qualifications in this. We've lost creativity. Teachers have lost the love of teaching. One young person commented that the teachers get to teach what they need to teach, not what they would like to teach, and pass on their love of learning. This is also the case in early years and Key Stage 1, where children have lost much during the pandemic, particularly in social interaction and the building blocks of learning. And yet now we have tests in 5 out of 7 years in primary schools, at a time when a love of learning should be established, not teaching to test. And I'm afraid that does happen and will continue while we have this system. The organisation More Than a Score says that 93% of teachers want a review of SATs, and SATs at the bottom of what parents look at when they choose a school. When looking for a school, parents care most about having teachers who care about their pupils and inspire them to learn. And when asked how schools should be measured post-pandemic, parents said happiness and well-being of pupils, pupils making progress at an appropriate pace and a broad, rich curriculum, and SATs came at the bottom again. We do need to assess pupils, but we need to ensure that it's not at the cost of breadth or depth of education. The schools-led tutoring has provided money for tutors, and schools are very grateful. However, the money provided does not fund the full cost of each tutor, and my schools state that there's too much bureaucracy to secure it. So can I ask the Minister if he will make that simpler? Catching up is one of the reasons that I'm also calling for an extended school day for everyone. Not just to continue maths and English and the core subject, but, as my honourable friend said, for a wide range of extracurricular activities, music, art, sport, clubs, all those subjects which cannot be fitted into a present school day and help contribute to pupils' well-being. There are examples around the country where this is working well, and I urge the government to look on those as pilot schemes already. I am pleased that the government will continue to fund another couple of years of summer holiday schemes. These have been much welcomed by schools and children alike, especially where they give opportunities for children and young people to access a wide range of projects, both learning and fun. The world is changing at a fast rate. Young people need to be flexible and resilient, but most importantly, they need to be prepared for work and anything that might be thrown at them. The working person is assessed on what you can do and what skills you can offer. The existing education system appears to be designed around what you can remember for a short time. This has to change. Parents want it to change, employers want it to change, teachers want it to change, but more importantly, young people want it to change. Now, this isn't going to happen overnight, but let's listen to all these stakeholders and design a curriculum and an education system that helps every child achieve and enjoy their school day at the same time.
Well,